Okay, I'm testing out new software and everything. I have had a whole bunch of computer problems the past couple days. Loree McBride is attacking my computer. And what happened is I would get online, if I the computer's fine till I try to restart it, and then a message saying BOOTMGR is missing. Press Control Alt Delete would happen during the restart, and the boot page wouldn't come up. I'd get this, and then a black screen, and then it would go right back. Then I would hit Control Alt Delete. Then it would go right back to boot. MGR is missing. Press Control Alt Delete, and it would do this over and over, and I couldn't get out of it. And I tried turning, one time I tried turning the computer off and then turning it on. And then I was able to get the boot menu to come up and I could scroll down the hard drive and hit enter and get in. Now my computer's been like this for about the past year and a half, where whenever I restart the computer or turn it off and then turn it back on, I have to scroll down to choose hard disk to get into the computer. And that hasn't been a problem. I would just hit F9 and get the boot menu and just boot off of hard drive. But now another thing's happening is this boot MGR is missing would come up, and then it would say press Control Alt Delete. So I emailed my man. I talked to them on the phone because I can call Terrence Jenkins' telephone. He has a Google Voice phone number, and I call him there and leave him messages all the time. So I told them what was going on, and finally, and I also got a message saying your battery, if this doesn't work, then you might need to replace your battery. So I had one day where nothing was working. All I get was this black screen and I couldn't boot. So I went to Best Buy and bought the CR, I think it's 2032 little round nickel shaped battery. And I inserted it into the computer. I also decided to vacuum the interior since it was a little bit dusty. And I put the battery in. That enabled me to boot and get in. But then the next time I had to restart, the same message came up again, though I no longer got messages about needing to replace the battery. It's saying boot MGR is missing, press Control Alt Delete, then the black screen would come up. And so I thought, man, maybe I reset my computer. I figured maybe if I go back to the software, like when I bought this is a refurbished computer. When I bought it in November, 4 years ago, November 2015, it was a Windows 7, but it invited me to upgrade to Windows 10, which I did. So I've had a Windows 10 for the past 4 years. So I was kind of scared about about doing a system recovery, because then it would go back, I thought, maybe to the Windows 7, and I didn't want that. I wanted to keep Windows 10. So when a prompt came up saying that I could reset the computer and keep my files, but I would have to reload all my apps. I decided to try that to see if it would fix my problem. So it took several hours and the computer kept restarting during the reset process, but I was able to get in there and hit F9 every time a black screen came up and able to get it to boot. So I was able to reset the computer. And it helped in that before, whenever the boot manager screen came up saying press Control Alt Delete, I had to turn off the computer, manually, and then turn it back on to get it to boot. Now, when it started resetting and the black screen came up, all I had to do was press F9 over and over. That's the boot menu. And I was able to get the boot menu to come up. So at least that enabled me to restart the computer without having to turn it off, because they would instruct you, like when you're doing Windows updates, you can't turn off the computer. So that would be a problem. So I don't know if I fixed it or not. But the first thing I did when I got the computer back up is I put TeamViewer there. We used to use LogMeIn. And I invited Vladimir or Zach Knight to get on my computer and fix it. And I think they have been trying. But I've noticed something really interesting. BitChute, I back up all of my YouTube videos at BitChute. I've been doing that since January 2018. I wasn't able to upload to BitChute a week ago. So I wrote BitChute and say, I'm not able to log into your site. And they told me they were attacked. And they were able to fix it like within 24 hours. So I was able to upload. And so it seems like Loree McBride is attacking everybody's computers. I don't think it's just me. And it seems to affect the login system somehow, where you keep going back to the same page. The same page. It's like you go around in circles. Same thing was happening to me. I'd get the boot manager is missing, press Control Alt Delete. I press Control Alt Delete, go right back to that page again. It would be just like you just go around in circles, some sort of bug. And so I think the main you say, did you might, at first, when it told me to replace the battery, I thought, I don't know, Lord. I said, Lord, I'm not even sure I know how to replace the battery on this thing, but I figured out how to open up the computer and get into the interior. It took me some figuring because I'm not a computer tech person. I had to slide some things around and take out some screws, and I figured out how to do it. And I found the computer. I went to the battery. I took it out with me, went to Best Buy to get the exact same thing, and that did help. So apparently the battery was getting weak. They say computer batteries last at the most for about 4 years, and I've had this computer for 4 years, so maybe it was time for it to be changed. But I didn't want to disobey the Gail commandments. Now let me tell you something. When this problem first came up, I thought, oh no, Lord, if I have to buy a new computer, that means I'm not going to be able to save $100 this month. I'm going to go in the red. It's going to go in the negative because I know how much I have to have in savings to do the Gail commandments. So I thought, you know what? This is where I've been working on the Bible for Tribulation Saints audio. But by the way, audiobook 2 was finished and I've submitted it to Audible. I did that yesterday, but I got a little behind because I had to deal with computer problems because I couldn't log in and I couldn't restart my computer. So I think I've got that fixed, though the bugs are not all worked out yet, but I have a feeling that my men are trying. I think Vladimir or Zach Knight has actually gotten on my computer because I've noticed some areas where it seems to be better. So I've noticed, though, that by my knowledge of Bible for Tribulation Saints caused me not to panic when my computer went down. So first thing I did is I prayed. I said, Lord, I want to obey the Gail commandments. Now, I know you would not allow this to happen unless you're going to make a way so that I can fix this computer without spending a lot of money. The battery cost me $8. They were on sale. I actually got a 6-pack, so if the battery dies again, I'll have more batteries for backup. Though I'm probably the computer is going to die before the batteries die. I was debating about adding in more memory. And I thought, Gail, you don't need to add a memory. You don't have a memory problem. You only had a battery problem. And now if you do that, Gail, you will be disobeying the Gail commandments because that would cost you to add in more memory. That would cost you like $30. That's a disobey. Then you wouldn't be able to save. So it's really funny. So I look back over my past mistakes. So I don't believe I disobeyed the Gail commandments to put in the battery. See, whenever you make a decision regarding the Gail commandments, you need to ask yourself, if I do this, will it help me to better obey the Gail commandments? Well, one of my Gail commandments is I have to make a YouTube video every week. So I know Jesus wants my computer to work. So I thought, I know it's probably his will for me to buy the battery. So I prayed about it and I thought, I obviously can't order online because my computer I couldn't log into my computer. Went to Best Buy, found what I needed. They had it. It was on sale for a couple bucks. It would cost me $8. Put the battery in. I was able to log in. Once I put the new battery in, I was able to log in, but there were still problems. Apparently, this was a multifaceted problem. Loree McBride took advantage of my weak computer battery to introduce other problems, probably to confuse me and maybe to get me to buy a new computer and disobey the Gail commandments. But fortunately, I was prayed up. And what I did is I looked back over the past, mistakes I'd made, like one time when my car was, actually my car is still acting up, but I'm not going to spend money on it. As long as it gets me from point A to point B, it's working, Like I can't see the PRD, I can't see anything. I don't know how much gas I have in the car. I don't know what speed I'm going, but I know how to shift I put like a card that says PRND12. So I know where to move my shift because I can't see it on the front panel and I can drive the car. The left electric window doesn't work, so I just leave it up. I only mess with the right electric window. I think Jesus is going to get me. But see, that's the thing. The advantage of making the Bible for Tribulation audiobooks is I'm really steeped into Bible for Tribulation saints. And I'm able to look back over how my men handled problems and how I've handled problems and how Jesus has counseled me afterwards. And then I pray and I ask Jesus to help me not to disobey him. So I think I've done the right thing. It appears that Vladimir Zach has been getting on my computer and it's operating better, so I don't need to get a new computer. And if I did, I would be disobeying the Gail commandments. One thing that helps me in my decisions is I know Jesus would never want me to do something that would cause me to disobey the Gail commandments. So I knew Jesus would make a way for me to solve this problem where I would still be able to save $100 this month. Now, some of you might reason, well, maybe it's because maybe Jesus expects you to go into savings. No, I used to think that way, that Jesus created those savings for an emergency. And maybe it is for an emergency, but I don't think it's for this emergency. I don't believe Jesus wants me to touch that savings for anything unless he specifically tells me to do so. And he hasn't specifically told me to touch the savings yet. So I don't touch it. As you can see, my computer's working. It was a pain in the neck having to put all the apps back on, though. I had to put the Firefox, I had to re-download Firefox, Brave, Brother Printer Utilities, Audacity. I put in Oslogic's registry helper, their driver booster 7, their smart defrag 6. I had to re-upload FreeAC. I had to re-upload TeamViewer. So TeamViewer, we used to use LogMeIn. I had to re-upload CCleaner. I had to re-upload Logitech software for this computer. I mean, for to make videos. The VSDC free video editor, that was really weird. It was telling me that they didn't recognize the company and it wasn't safe to do it. So I tried doing another company and they said that one was safe, but that one was really buggy. So I uninstalled it and I said to heck with it, man. I think I can't trust what I'm reading online anyways. So I just put in VSD. You know what? I think Loree McBride may have introduced the bug through the Windows updates. So if you're having problems with your computer, you might want to let my men know at gailsmen@yahoo.com and let them know. Like right now, the Brave browser is really buggy. I uninstalled it and then I reinstalled it to see if that would solve the problem. And then when I tried to log into my website, it kept going around in circles. I would put in the user, to work on my website. I would put in the username, the password. It would go right back to the login page. Put in the username and password, hit enter, right back to the login page, going round and round in circles. So I said, let's quit this browser and try Mozilla Firefox, which is another browser that I use. It worked on Mozilla Firefox. She's got some sort of bug where you just keep going round and round in circles and you can't get off a certain login page. And this is the new bug that Loree McBride has been putting into the computers. She's attacking the Brave browser today. She's attacked BitChute in the past week. She's attacked my computer. She's got some sort of bug where you go round and round in circles on some login page and you can't get out of it. And boy, have I been busy working on computer problems the past couple days. But I was able to finish the audiobook in spite of all the problems. I finished the audiobook for the second audiobook for Bible for Tribulation Saints, though I still have to upload the latest links to Patreon. I just haven't had time. So busy, reloading and I had to put in my Word, Microsoft Office suite. I had to upload WordPerfect. I had to put in VLC Media Player, Real Player, these are all the Skype, all those apps had to get put back on, and that took a long time. And then the music's off downloader, so I can transfer stuff I play on my computer to the piano to the computer. That took forever. And I saw some eagles on my walk today, and I decided to include that. I'll do that on another. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to sign out now. I've been having big time computer problems.